And so yes, no, I'm going the wrong way. I need to go straight through to the other gate and straight out the other end. Right, let's grab one of these. Make sure we're healing up nicely. Right. Oh god, not one of these again. Shit. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Not, man. I don't actually mind these either. These lovely, yeah, thirst bots. That's a great way of putting it. I don't mind these guys either because they make me have to concentrate on things. Lovely, yeah. Oh shit, sorry guys, hang on. Yep, there we go. Fix that quickly. Oh, there was only one of them? Ah. That's hide user on this channel. I think that's the way. A lot of scientists think that there won't be more than 13 billion people. Well, they're wrong. They're wrong. They might be right, but I hope they're wrong. Because that means we've gone to war, or there's been a giant famine, or something else terrible has occurred to humanity. And despite how isolationist I personally may be, I love humanity. I think we're the best possible thing that could ever occur. We're capable of so much, good and bad. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go, go. It's your choice. No one should be able to stop you. And I mean, because you're not intentionally doing something negative to somebody else, so it's not hypocritical, yeah? Population flattens out? Yeah. I mean, but why? Why does it flatten out? Lack of resources? What is it that flattens it? And when has it ever flattened? Because didn't we increase the population of Earth by like 7 billion in like 200 years or something? Or was it 1 billion in 200 years? Something like that. Like, what was the population of Earth in the 1900s? What's the worst thing to happen to humans? Yeah, as humans, exactly. Yeah, yeah. We're our own worst enemy. We're the alpha predator, but also we're our own food, right? We're our own worst enemy. Which is why, you know, the ambitions and desires of man should be forever governed, because they know no bounds or something like that. I hate you guys. It's a bloody tick. At least she's not repeating that line over and over again. That got annoying fast, didn't it? Take a look at the birth rate, death rates in your... Yeah, no, precisely, but what's causing it? Why is it happening? There'll be some reason to it. Like, the population of humanity has never decreased. Well, it kind of did during the Black Plagues and so forth. But we didn't really have a world consensus, did we? Or rather, a world census on how many people there actually were. Even in 1900, we still didn't. Less kids. Yeah, well, I mean, less kids this generation, because things are too expensive. Like, everything goes in cycles, right? So, like a pendulum swinging. Good times create... No, good people create good times, which create bad people that create bad times, that then create good people that create good times. Because through struggle, we create innovation, ideas, and renaissance occurs. Then after the renaissance, we have such a good time period that we start to complain about things that aren't a problem. Sound familiar? Right? There's a lot of complaints today about a whole bunch of things that just aren't really a problem. That's because life's been too good for too long.
Feeling refreshed.
Women in post-industrial countries are less fit. Yeah, but they're also going to get jobs and stuff now, deciding to be career women instead of what do you call it? Instead of home mothers. See, that'll change eventually too. That'll spin back the other way, where women will go, "Oh, screw this, I'd rather stay at home." They don't need to be. Yeah, precisely. But they're not making that choice. Like, they're not going, "Oh yes, I decide to just be less fertile." It's just a natural thing that occurs. It's like, how do we put it? Back in the time of the Romans, I always go back to these guys because we've got quite a lot of information about them. Monogamy wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was, but the opposite wasn't frowned upon. Everybody just kind of just did what they wanted, right? there was no straight, there was no gay, there was none of that. You just kind of did what you wanted. But then we started creating little diseases from that behavior, which led us to having to, just having a single partner to prevent the spread of that, because humanity was starting to get wiped out. What is this? Oh, it's clay. We're starting to lose too many people. Everything's just swings and roundabouts. We're probably the last, maybe the last generation or two that are going to have pretty good times in our lives. After that, I think our grandkids, I think they might have a bit of a tougher time with it. It all depends on how this thing in Ukraine goes and what happens right after. I guess. God damn, I hate it when these guys get me. Alright, I'm getting out of the way. Come here, you little bastard. Come here. God damn, it's turned into a bloody, friggin' history lesson today, isn't it? Philosophical discussion. I actually don't mind that. People might find that boring, though. Oh. Shit. Crap. Oh, I hate these guys so bloody much. Oh, shit. The only thing they're resistant to is spicy. I think. Is it a spicy spear? Which one is the dead one? The one at the back, right? Of course he is. Crap. I'm gonna die here. I can't move. Stuck. Oh, let's concentrate. Crap. The attacks can be dodged by moving sideways. You just need the room to do it. Ay. No, you don't. You leave me alone. Far out. I hate these bloody things so much. That's topic changes so fast. Yes, sorry about that. I don't know if that gets annoying or not. I love how the gas in Poland's half the price of the gas in Germany. Did you see that guy, that Russian guy that was streaming this gas stove? I'm sorry, I know there are people out there struggling, but that was funny. Because yeah, guys, can't we all just get along and everyone will just be happier? You're fresh, right? Yep. Like, I was saying this the other day, I don't get it. I don't get it. What? I don't turn around to my neighbour and go, "Oi, mate, I like your tree, I'm taking the bloody thing." Right? Yet somehow countries do this to each other all the time. But there's a lot of nuance going on over there too. Like, go look up the news stories from 2013, 2014. It was the other way around entirely. They were saying Ukraine's the bad guy and they're doing all these things, and then this current conflict occurs and now we're all saying something different. It's funny how that's a thing, eh, and it still keeps happening. Come on guys, just tell us the truth. I'm gonna find out that you were wrong eventually. And then we're gonna hate you for it. Like, come on, man. Like, I haven't watched terrestrial TV in shit. Ooh, that was close. In almost 20 years. I give Russia not more than 20 years left to exist. Yeah, well, here's the thing. They've gone from being the Soviet communist sort of thing, haven't they, to more of a, well, kind of socialist dictatorship, isn't it, really? I mean, there's the whole, you know, voting thing, but that's kind of rigged, right? It's kind of rigged, right? Like, come on. What do they say? Communism has only never worked because it hasn't been done properly. Well, fine. That means no one knows how to do it properly, because if they did, it would be working right now. So figure it out, and then come and tell us. But I don't think any single system is good. Like, think about the human body, right? If you only had right feet, yeah, you'd be walking around in circles all the time. You need a left foot. We need a right foot. We need a left and a right hand. We need a left and a right part of our brain. We need these things, right? So we need opposite things that come together to form the whole. So I just don't get why it's so difficult to just not be balanced. I guess there's bias involved, isn't there? 2 things you're not allowed to say to the public. We don't know. We were wrong. I mean, I can say I'm wrong. But we can't turn around to our governments and go, no, these things that you're telling us to put on our face actually don't work. Because by saying, actually, I think I can now, right? YouTube changed that? What's coming at me? Oh, not these. YouTube changed that rule, right? And what's funny is the people that were saying that were right. Because it came out much later than it turns out they were correct. Although, if you went to the CDC and WHO website, that stuff was already there. Oh, not again! God damn it! God damn it! The Ukraine war was Putin's attempt to extend. Well, if you... I mean, yeah, of course. But, crap, pressed the wrong button. If you go back to 2000, 2014, 2013 and 14, you'll notice that there were votes being held for particular people to join a different country. And when they voted to do so, the country they were leaving attacked them. And then we had the little green men. That's what the news was telling us at the time. That means one side that is now the bad guy was actually the good guy, and still is, which is ridiculous, because we're talking about a country that, you know, most of us don't understand. Let's face it, I don't bloody understand it either. But if I'm to follow what the news was saying... What is going on up there? I thought they were attacking me. I want the mushrooms, man. During a scenario I was in, there was a raid, and when asked, I said, I don't know, maybe some mistake. I got pulled aside and my carcass was reamed up. Really? Really? Yeah, it's... If information... If there is such a thing as dis or misinformation, then surely the idea should be to give us as much information as possible, right? Because if they keep going, oh no, that's misinformation, then we're going to keep asking how, why, and why are you saying this? So the best thing to do is just to ignore the information, right? Instead of going, no, 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 that's just wrong. Because that's why we all know about Hunter Biden, yeah? You understand Russian? But yeah, I've got some Russian friends who explain quite a lot to me, and I've got some Ukrainian mates who explain stuff to me as well. And funnily enough, these people get along. I think one is actually from Kiev, and another one's from Moscow. Moscow. Shit. And they get along just fine. They're great friends, and they think all of this is bloody stupid. However, they explain things to me that I'm not sure I can say on YouTube, so I won't. But, however, on the other hand, they are also just people. I'm not there. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is that I wish it wasn't, but I understand why it is. So, having some lettuce. Yoink! Oh, that bloody box! I keep forgetting to build the bloody box. Do I? Oh. Yeah. And the way I see things, right, like, if you don't understand something, like, if I don't understand something, it's because there's something I don't know. Yeah? Oh, I did build a box. Oh, hello. Can we take any of this? Oh, we can take you guys. Yeah. It means there's something you don't know. And once you kind of know everything about something, right, you can accept it. Because you know why it's there, you know why it should be there, you know why it isn't there, you know, all that. Therefore, you can only be okay with it. So the more you understand, the more things you'll accept. Yeah, pretty much. That sounds pretty much, yeah. You never don't know, you were never wrong. You were always right, even when you were not. You still are. Yeah, pretty much. No, it sounds like a whole bunch of contradictions, but yeah, that's pretty much right on the money. Because how do you know you don't know something? You don't know something, right? You don't know, therefore you don't know that you don't know. Oh, Red Bull! I told you guys this was going to happen, didn't I? And once that caffeine kicked in, I wouldn't be able to shut up. Oh, my wife just made me a sausage sandwich. Let me know if my chewing annoys you, or if you can even hear it, and I'll mute it. But this is addressing the public where if serial actors will be present. Yeah, no, exactly. But even then, if someone like says something, you know, bad or negative about me or a friend that I know, or, you know, even just on the news, I'll still ask why. And what I was taught, and I believe this is pretty much spot on. If you can answer why, where, how, what, and there's another one. Why, where, how, what, and I think it's who. Whatever. If you can answer those 5 questions, you know everything about what you're talking about. If you can't answer those 5 questions, you should always assume you know absolutely nothing about what you're talking about and try and find the answers. So when the news comes out and says, oh, blah, 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 this happened, I go, well, why? How? What? Where? And I tend to never get those answers, especially not from the news. Therefore, they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, I'm that kind of cheeky. I can help but just ignore. Okay, cool, man. Because I'm not. I'm trying not to sound obnoxious or whatever. Right, trying to be quiet about it. Right, let's grab some more. Then we'll go lay out that blueprint, I think. Thank you. All right, let's go lay out that blueprint. Oh no, let's grab a drink.
That tastes really good.
One for Ellie, one for me. Oh, I think the drinking is actually louder. It's a metal bloody can. Alright. This way. Oh, food! Okay, food, yeah. There's no need for a big thing. Let's grab one of these. Ah. There's actually none left in there. Alright. There you go. Oh, right. Yeah, hungry.
Can't waste
we don't need to repair anything yet, do we? No.
Can't waste food. Can't waste food.
Yeah, precisely. They're just reading what's written in front of them. Just like presidents and stuff, right? But on the other hand, people are still watching it. And because they're watching it, these people will keep making it. And then they'll keep lying. Keep manipulating. I mean, I get what they're doing. I mean, it's not like they are intentionally trying to make the world a worse place. It is what they're doing, though. You know, through their actions, they're making the world a worse place. But, it's because it makes money. It's what sells. Right? And, I mean, this is quite simple to understand, really, if you think about it, right? So, bad news is always the stuff we want to hear first, right? It's like, would you like to hear the good news or the bad news? People tend to want to have the good news first and the bad news last, so it sticks. Or the other way around, so they can get past it faster. But either way, we want to know the bad stuff, so that we can then avoid that bad stuff. It's part of our survival instinct. It's part of being human. It's just what we are. And I think that's pretty neat. But it's also why the negative stuff sells more. It's why the news will always do it. That's why people will always do it. And in doing so, you end up creating more divisive opinion, because people will go, you know, yes, that's correct, and other people will say, no, it's bloody wrong. And the people who tend to be, no, that's wrong, tend to do nothing about it. So, you always end up with a conflict and a division there, which they can then write about, and again, you see, creating that perpetual cycle of negative news and negativity. But that's our own fault. We are, however, in a position as humans to flip the script on that one. to change it entirely. Like, never in the history of humanity has single individuals, especially even in, in the world in general, but especially in the West, had so much safety. Never in the history of mankind has humanity been so safe. Just individually. It may not feel that way in some of your damn cities, but imagine what it was like 200 years ago. You just get shot for walking outside, or stabbed, or murdered. Some guy liked your shoes. Like, anger makes anger. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So we have the ability now to look at the positives more than the negatives. We don't. Shit, back off, little buddy. We don't, because it's going to take a while, and we may not really get there, because we keep getting in this perpetual cycle of negative, good, where the news just keeps doing the negative stuff. It's pretty much London. Maybe. I hear Glasgow's worse. Then again, there's a place in America called Chirac, right?
That ant's got some moves.
Like Iraq, but in Chicago, there's like 3,000 shootings a year or some ridiculous number. Even though guns are illegal in Illinois, or whatever it is, that's weird. I don't know how guns can be illegal, it's constitutional. Anyway, yeah, the places, the world's a really weird place. But, still, it was worse. It was a lot worse. Like, even go back, like, the 1940s, right? Or 1930s. Nah, screw that. For you Americans, 1960s. A war in the Vietnam broke out, yeah? And you didn't have a choice. You went. You were sent. Your government went, no, you're going to war, mate. You're going to go and kill shit that we want you to kill, or die trying, because we tell you to. Like, cool drafting, yeah? Dude, that was so unsafe living back then. You could have just been sent to war because some guy insulted someone else. It's ridiculous. Today, though, we are a much more civilized society. So, we tend to not do drafts. We tend to not do drafts. Pretty sure the Ukraine just did one, right? That's why my first rule of combat is don't kill yourself. We've made everything as safe as possible in a war zone. That safety is no longer there. Yeah. And if if the news had their way, every one of your neighborhoods, except theirs, would be a war zone. Because then they can sell more, they can write more, they can make more money. And I also don't blame them. Because here's the problem, right? I'm saying don't watch the news. And in doing so, they're going to create more problems. So they can get more people to watch the news. So there's that perpetual cycle of do the right thing, get the wrong outcome. And I love that. Like, humanity is so twisted. It's so complicated, and it's just awesome. Because it makes us smarter. Makes us stronger, makes us better. Makes us evolve. I really should build a pallet thing here, eh? But I don't care about any of this. It can all disappear as far as I'm concerned. Or you can eat it if you want, buddy. Go right on here. Shit, my axe is busted. Oh, let's just clear out as much of this as we can. Whew. A lot of Europe's countries have... Oh, yeah, well, okay. Yeah, sweet. So, I mean, I don't know this stuff. However, they're not... I mean, I was going to say, however, they're not at war. They weren't. Right? They weren't.
That ant's got some moves.
Now they are. I know Israel does as well. I got mates that are ex-IDF. But that's, I understand that one too. It's, you know, you're surrounded by a bunch of people who want to kill you. I kind of get that. I mean, it might be your ancestors' fault, but you're not helping the situation. So we're living in terror and Victor. That would make the World Economic Forum seem reasonable. I don't like that a bunch of people can sit there and just like a little group of people can sit there and determine the outcome for everybody on the planet. Because we're all individuals, right? Some of us want to play video games. Some of us, like for example, me myself, I'm very heavily injured in terms of damage to my body. I've got a gunshot wound just below my left knee. I've got 2 broken ankles. I've had surgery on my back. Like, And granted, practically all of these except the back one are my own fault. Even the back one's my own fault. I'm responsible for all that. But I mean, not consciously, I didn't make those choices, but I put myself in the situations where those things occurred. So some of us aren't capable of doing some things, right? But we'd be more and better suited to doing other things. Like, you want to have a philosophical conversation on a bloody Friday night or Saturday morning while watching a guy play Grounded? You know, I'm your man. But, you know, if that doesn't suit anybody in the World Economic Forum, does it? They'd rather us be out there producing stuff and making things to create other things that make them more money or more power. Because let's face it, just playing video games on the internet doesn't do anything for them. I mean, not really. They might make advertising money perhaps, but they'd make more money out of us if we were doing other things. The user was expanded too far. Yeah, well, see, here's the other thing, right? Now, using Terra Invicta as a good example. The aliens can win, and they can win quite easily because humanity is divided. It all started with Italy. It always does. Even Tiberium, right? River Tiber. Or Mussolini, I guess. Mussolini. Because humanity's divided, and we're still heavily divided. I mean, what, there's 300 something countries in the world. There was a pandemic at one point, and we couldn't get 300 people into one room to have a conversation about the best way to deal with it. I mean, are you serious? 300 people? We couldn't get them in a room? Every single country's leader couldn't get into a single room. Or a Zoom call. We're still heavily divided, and we're going to remain that way for some time. Sooner we're not, the better. Ouch, a gunshot from a war. Yeah, I mean, or the grenade thrown into the car of Carl Ferdinand, right? But that was, I mean, that dates back to the 1800s, and the reason why I don't like monarchy, because all the leaders at the time that went to war were all cousins and nephews and shit. They were all literally related. It was a family feud, and the world paid for it. We're still paying for it. World War II happened because of that family feud. It's ridiculous. That shit should never happen. Yeah, it's happening again right now today, isn't it? The bloody eastern fringes of Europe. It's still going on. We're not learning too much, are we? Shit. I mean, put it this way. We went to war in Vietnam to stop the spread of communism. Right? How is Vietnam doing? They're doing fantastic, aren't they? At least last time I checked, which was about 10 years ago, they were doing just fine. Not as good as they could be, granted. But they're doing just fine. Look at all the other communist nations. Just sit there and wait and they'll fall apart. Or they won't and they'll figure it out. There's no need to go over there and give them a kick in the teeth. Just wait. They'll fall apart. However, it's kind of like the French Revolution thing, right? Where all the monarchies hated the idea of Napoleon because they didn't want that to happen to their countries. And then it happened anyway. It's so dumb. Your face is a wreck, but not in the shape of the... Damn, man. You know what's good about that, though? You know what's good about that? You got stories to tell, right? You got stories to tell. That's how I look at all this shit. Yeah, this thing happened to me. This is a thing, yeah? So what did we work out was stronger? We worked out there was very little difference between this and this, right? Okay. Oh, no, I can't remember now. Damn it. Alright, let's go back. We need to fix the axe anyway. Let's go home. Because I haven't built it yet, have I? Because was the palisade, the actual, like, thing we're supposed to use any good? I can't remember. Oh, come on, man. What did it do? Oh, phew. Nice. Right. Building the combustion wall. These are all still fine, right? No. Okay. They've all been hit. Ah, damn it. I'll repair them because I can't remember what I hit them with. I know it was a spear, but I don't know what type. Alright, mushroom wool needs 4 bricks. I got a couple of scars on my face. Like, one is from me running into a clothesline as a kid. I had a nice gnarly one on my arm. That's from getting stabbed. But yeah, I don't know. Just I don't see that kind of stuff as negative. Some people do though, and that's okay. Each to their own and all that. Oh, this isn't a level thing, right? Okay, fine. That's right. Of course not. Why would I upgrade that using stuff? Dude. That... Okay. Interesting. You sound like a very interesting individual. like literally. You gotta have some stories, because some of that shit has got to have provided some sort of entertainment for you. Right? Like, I had a mate who had, was it not cerebral palsy, but that thing that you can't really walk and move very well, so most of the time he's in a wheelchair. And he was half blind, and one eye, almost completely blind in the other eye, and oh, what was it? He had something else, and that dude was the funniest guy on the planet. I forgot.